now split into two sections at the nose bridge. "They're mine." He made a dismissive gesture with his hand to stop any further questions. McNulty, who'd caught the mishap, handed Ambler a roll of electrician's tape from a drawer behind the bar, so Ambler taped his reading glasses back together. As this took place, the woman who introduced herself as Shannon Darling talked animatedly with Adele, not ignoring Ambler so much as being so pleased to see Adele that she wasn't aware he was there. The state of things changed slightly when Adele told Shannon who Ambler was and told Ambler that Shannon would be the latest reader to make use of the crime fiction collection. Adele had done the screening interview that afternoon while Ambler was away from the library. A few minutes later, Adele and Shannon headed to the ladies' room, something women did in pairs quite often. Ambler didn't recall ever asking another man to accompany him to the men's room. He was about to ask McNulty, who was now standing in front of him on the other side of the bar, about this phenomenon when McNulty's expression as he watched Shannon Darling walk away stopped him. For a moment, unguarded, it was almost reverent. "I'd like another drink," Shannon said to McNulty when she and Adele returned. "You have one on the bar," McNulty said. Their eyes met and held for a moment. "You probably don't want any more after this one." "I can go somewhere else." Her tone was petulant. "You could." McNulty spoke softly. "You asked me to tell you." "I'm not arguing anymore. Those guys are jerks. One of them propositioned me." "You say things." He shook his head. She turned from McNulty to look Ambler in the eye. "My husband doesn't have sex with me. I think it's been..." She paused, perhaps counting off some period of time. Weeks, months, years. Was she asking him for an explanation? In a few minutes again, she'd forgotten about Ambler and Adele and was whispering with McNulty. But she was fading. When she wasn't speaking, she bowed, her chin drifting toward the bar like a junky nod. McNulty called to one of the servers. When the server came behind the bar, he told Ambler, "Gail here will watch the bar. I'm taking Shannon to her hotel. I won't be long." He left, walking beside Shannon, his arm under her elbow. She leaned against him, talking. Ambler imagined that the 3 or 4 men from the earlier group who remained at the bar watching the bartender and the tipsy woman leave didn't expect to see the bartender back for a good while. Less than 20 minutes later, McNulty was back, contemptuous of the smirks and knowing glances of the men who watched him leave, coming behind the bar to stand in front of Ambler and Adele. "This one may do me in," he said. "I told her she had to save me from myself, to stay the fuck out of here." Ambler had paid particular attention to Shannon Darling for a couple of days now since that evening. She'd told Adele in the special collection screening interview that she was writing a book on women mystery writers and would be in the city for a few days. Adele had approved her application, but had misgivings about her because a few of the things she said in the interview seemed odd. It was as if she made up her answers on the spot. When I asked about her academic affiliation, she didn't know what I meant. I asked if she was a freelance writer. She didn't know. I said independent scholar, and she jumped at the answer like she'd wish she'd thought of it. Her appearance was curious also. Adele said, "She doesn't dress like a researcher. The suit she wore was straight out of Neiman Marcus or Saks Fifth Avenue, not what most readers wear to the library." After observing her, Ambler saw that Shannon Darling was indeed amateurish, not aware of the protocols of research, not knowing, for instance, the procedure for calling up research materials. You'd think this was her first time using a library special collection. Still, she had an appealing way about her. On the young side of middle age, with blonde hair, large brown eyes, little makeup, and a pretty mouth, she was attractive and pleasant to be around. Her direct gaze and an air of expectancy in the way she looked at him when he spoke to her surprised him. He found it difficult to look away from her. That openness lasted only a moment each time, until she registered that he had nothing interesting to tell her, so turned back to her work. The file boxes he delivered on this morning were from the collection of Jane Galloway, a mystery writer who'd recently donated her papers to the 42nd Street Library's crime fiction collection. Ambler stood for a moment, more or less looking over the woman's shoulder as she opened the file box. "She's a much underappreciated writer," he said. The reader glanced up at him with that air of expectation, and then quickly back to her work as if she realized he might not be talking to her. He'd tried before to engage Miss Darling and gotten the same result. He thought of his comment as exchanging pleasantries.